Okay, it's going. No, we don't know where we're going to sit. That's all right. Ready? No. Yeah. Don't have quite as many as we thought. Oh, yeah, we get a picture of him. Yeah, how you doing?
Good, mate.
All right.
Photo of you, that's all right?
Oh, what?
I'm going to get a photo of you if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, yes, of course. Sarasota News Leader.
Yeah, Stan Zimmerman.
Yes.
You've talked to
Stan
Stan.
Zimmerman, yes. All right. Yeah. Okay, well. I think it's hot in here. Well, maybe it's my age.
It's a little bit hot.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to have those go with you. That's not saying I haven't figured out all the tricks.
Testing. Hello. Can you hear me in the back? Yes, maybe. How about now? Is
it better if I don't use mic? All right, we're kind of getting moving here. We're going to have 6 candidates in the front, and yes, we'd like to invite the candidates to take one of these seats up front. I've left a chocolate candy and some water for each position. We'll get started here in about 2 minutes.
That's more hospitable than we've ever seen, right? That's more hospitable than we've ever seen.
Try. Thank you very much.
Usually I get a cup of hemlock.
No, the candidates
How are you doing? Still breathing? Good?
Here we are again.
No.
I feel terrible because I don't ever look at Facebook, so I don't know what's going on. Just had to see something wrap up a week or so ago.
I see we have a little bit of news media, so make sure you accommodate the news media and tell them what your issues are here in Arlington Park. If you want to raise your hand, we got the Longwood Observer.
Excuse me?
He's from the Longwood Observer, isn't he?
Behind me, do you?
Are you together?
No, we're not.
Oh, welcome. Where are you from?
Sarasota News Leader.
Awesome. Welcome. We like the news leader. Well, I think without further ado, we want to stay on time and on track. I was going to give it another minute or two because our treasurer hasn't shown up, and he's the one who brings the Sweet Bay tickets. Oh, there he is. Do we have Sweet Bay raffle tickets? Okay, so I want to make sure that everybody's got a number up front here. These are free tickets, and we're going to have a raffle when things are done, and this is one of the reasons why so many people come, so they can win a raffle ticket. We're going to keep it very informal tonight. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rick Farmer. I'm the president for Arlington Park Neighborhood Association. And I want to welcome everybody tonight, and especially welcome our city commission candidates. There's a lot going on tonight, as many of you know, specifically the Walmart hearing and another forum up in Newtown, I believe. So Sue Atwell will be arriving a little bit, Sue Atwell is represented by her husband here, Mayor Atwell. You raise your hand. He'll be fielding questions that you might have for the mayor. And we have Kate Lohman here, standing in for Susan Chapman, who should be here shortly. And I've been assured that each of these people will have the integrity to answer any questions that come up in a way that their candidate would. So a couple more introductions. Tonight we've invited Powell Stone to be our moderator. A lot of the people in our neighborhood have been concerned that we have such a low turnout for youth. I looked at the results of the last election, and for age group 18 to 25 of the 2% turnout in city elections. So, that explains why our city is the way it is. It reflects our leadership, which is fine. But here at Arlington Park, we're the largest neighborhood association. We've got a lot of vibrancy, and I think by having somebody like Powell, who can be objective, that we might be able to get some different type of answers out of these candidates. So the format tonight's going to be very simple. We do have a couple of members from Sarasota's Finest up here to do their monthly report, but crime's been down, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be a weak report. So we're going to start the meeting tonight with a short presentation from the Sarasota Police Department, and then we'll start the forum. We're going to give candidates a 3-minute introductory session. We have Doug Humans in the back, who's going to be our official timekeeper. He'll raise his hand when a candidate gets close to their time limit, which will be 60 seconds for each question. And we're flexible here. I mean, if the candidate wants to say any more, I think we can accommodate them. But let's keep things moving. If you guys would like to come over and provide the police report, we'll get that taken care of. Interested? Any takers? And we briefly met. What's your name again, please?
Chris Katzera.
Chris. Welcome, Chris. Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Detective Chris Cattonzero with the Police Department. I'm in Crimes Against Children, but I'm working evenings tonight. So I had our crime analyst pull up any statistics, and good news, since January of this year, the total calls for service that we've had have been 21. So I don't have any crime trends or anything to remark on tonight, which to me is a good thing. So,
Well, it seems like burglaries are down, which is a very good thing. So make sure you're keeping your doors and windows locked when you're not home. That always helps.
Microphone. They couldn't hear you. Just maybe give them.
Burglaries are down, so just make sure you keep your doors and windows locked when you're not home, and that's going to help out a lot.
Does anybody have any questions for representatives from the police department? I have got a couple reports about more graffiti in Arlington Park, so that's
just
somewhere.
talking about that with Linda.
So, just
Yeah,
so you
please
know.
call that in if you see that, so we can obviously get it taken off, and also then we have it reported, so we know that we're having some trends with certain gangs. Thank you.
Great, well, thank you very much. That, glad we don't have any bad news to report. We'll see what we get out of the commissioners. So I'm asking people to fill out questions on these little, thank you very much. Good night. Fill out your questions on these little white cards going around, and that will help facilitate the meeting greatly. And we'll see some questions come up more than once. We'll adapt. Okay, so I think to get things officially started, we'll start on this end with candidate Pete Dyson, and we're going to have a 3-minute introductory period before we start the questioning. So without further ado, Pete, if you could start, and then we'll go to Linda, Kelvin, Rich, and down the line.
I'm going to have a mic.
Yes.
You want one? I think we do. Okay. Thank you.
Ronald Reagan popularized a Gaylord Parkinson 11th commandment. With apologies to both Reagan and Parkinson's then, Mr. Dorfman, you celebrate Sarasota as a place where there is very little bullshit, exact quote. Why then are you relieving yourself of so much of it? While you were playing away for 23 years as a sports impresario before the Queen and the Sheik in la-la socialism land, everything you are suggesting has been tried again and again in Sarasota, although the news may not have reached Dubai. In each case, the cost to the taxpayers exceeded the benefit by some multiple, if there ever was any benefit at all. Now, when the city is broke, more of the same expenditure will suddenly bring a benefit where it never has before? Reverend Lumpkin, I was hoping that a man of God could resist selling his soul, but I guess not. I see that you are now repeating the Dorfman lines: vibrant downtown, open for business, watering down the noise ordinance, and the like. Your winning endorsement of the by the hub developers on various social media confirms it. You are now a friend of the developers and an enemy of the people. For money, you said at the last forum, you are in it for the money, exact quote. You can make money at your church. Just follow the Reverend Ike model. Or follow the Catholic formula of carnivals and bingo. Don't be laying your family expenses on the taxpayers. Both of you, the voters can recognize a bought and paid for candidate. It is too late for Sir Richard. He may as well go back to the round table. Can we save the Reverend from the devil's bargain? I'd like to think so. Voters, avoid them both for the time being. Vote for me, Pete Tyson. You know who my friends are, you and the other taxpayers.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. It's nice to see some familiar faces in the audience. And a lot of you know me, and I know a lot of you all, so it's good to see you again. I'm Linda Holland, and I have over 30 years of community involvement in Sarasota. I've been a resident of the city for 32 years, a neighborhood activist for about the same time, business owner for about the same time, and a civic participant for all those years too. So I think most of you know me with my history in Gillespie Park of cleaning up that neighborhood, and that was done with a great partnership with the Sarasota Police Department. It was a bit of a tough neighborhood when I first moved in, and now it's a nice place to live. And I think most of you know that I'm a big supporter of the Sarasota Police Department. I did receive the endorsement of the PBA. I worked with Chris Catanzaro for many years when she was the gang, had her responsibilities were with gang coordination. So I have a whole list of achievements. The founder of my neighborhood, founder of the Coalition of City Neighborhood Associations. I'm vice chair of the Nuisance Abatement Board. It just goes on and on. There are too many to list, but they're on the back of my material, so I won't bore you with all of those. My business background is I'm a licensed real estate broker, and I manage over 50 residential rental units. And I have a background in land development. I worked with the Palmer Ranch in the early years that I came here, affordable housing with a not-for-profit organization, and the Nature Conservancy with land conservation. So I feel like I have a really good balance of neighborhood protection and preservation, but I also understand the business side of things. And I would say my education, thank you. My education has been on the streets of the neighborhoods, in the businesses, the banks, and the restaurants on Main Street, but most importantly at City Hall. I've been attending City Commission meetings for over 30 years. So when you elect me for the next Commissioner at Large, I can hit the ground running. I have a lot of experience at City Hall. I know a lot of the staff people. I know what a great staff the city has and what a great place Sarasota is, and we just need to make sure that continues to be a great city, and as your city commissioner, I can make sure that we continue down that path. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having us here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelvin Lumpkin. I'm a lifelong resident of Sarasota, and I've tried to use my adult life to serving others and specifically serving this community. And that's why I'm running for city commission, so that I could continue to serve the city. We all love our city. We may have sometimes difference of opinion in how we want it to change and grow, but for the most part, I find that we're pretty much on the same page. I think we all want to see the city prosper. We just want to do it in a smart, efficient way. And so I look forward to getting to know you in the future. Now, I'm grateful for these things. Of course, there's a whole bunch of them, but they're so good for us, not only for you to get to know us, but for us to get to know you and to know what you're thinking. So I look forward. I've tried to serve this community all my adult life. I was appointed by 2 governors to the State College of Florida Board of Trustees. I'm my local pastor. I'm the president of the Ministerial Alliance for Newtown Pastors, and I've devoted a lot of time over the last few years to trying to combat violence in the city. So I'm looking forward to just sharing my views with you and hearing what you have to say as well. Thanks so much for having us. Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Richard Dorfman, and after Pete's introduction of my background and skill level, I'm not really sure what I could possibly add, but I will. A little background on me. I was born in New York City. I grew up in northern New Jersey. I grew up in a very, very small town. I lived in a home that was over 200 years old. We had a very close community, a very tight community, so I learned to really respect that small town mentality, respect the community most of all. And I think I bring that same sort of thinking and respect to here and bring it here with me to Sarasota. Thank you. I went to work in the sports business. I was director of broadcasting of the NBA in the early 80s. I moved to London in 1989, where I became sports agent for big television rights. I represented things like the Wimbledon, the Soccer World Cup, Rugby World Cup. I worked with Nelson Mandela in South Africa in 1995, putting on the Rugby World Cup. Was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Seeing that country come together under the banner of sport was a wonderful thing. I first visited Sarasota in 1977 and knew I was going to eventually end up here, and fortunately, despite what Pete may say, I was blessed in my career to be able to come back here and buy a home and spend the rest of my life here. I'm like the converted alcoholic. I spent 30 years running around the world and just burning myself out, and now I was able to come back to Sarasota, and I've adopted this home. I love it. I'm passionate about it. The first year I was here, I didn't answer the phone. Then after that, I started to look around, and I said, maybe there's an opportunity to give back.
1 minute.
I'm here. I have a passion for the city, as I said. Many things I want to do. I think we all have differences of opinion as to the direction we would like Sarasota to take, but I think we all want the city to prosper. I think we want the city to deal with the fiscal difficulties it has, and how we deal with those fiscal difficulties is very important. My career over 30 years has been about bringing people together. I was a professional negotiator. And that's sort of a skill you're going to need in City Hall when you're dealing with police pensions, when you're dealing with pretty desperate points of view, neighborhood people, business people. We all have to figure out that there's value in coming to the middle, working out our differences, and doing something for the greater good. I thank you all for coming here, and I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Mr. Suzanne Atwell. I'm here because Suzanne is a city commissioner and mayor, and one of her many duties is to attend and preside at city commission meetings. So she asked me to fill in for her. As we speak, the commission is in the midst of a very important and very contentious meeting. I appreciate the willingness of Rick Farmer to allow me to substitute for her, and I thank all the other very highly qualified candidates up here for their indulgence. By way of background, Suzanne has a bachelor's degree from George Washington University, a master's in clinical psychology from Marymount University. On moving to Sarasota about 20 years ago, she put her training into practice at Coastal Behavioral and Jewish Family and Children's Services before going into private practice. Her other community activities include chairing the Human Relations Board of the city, serving on the board of the Civic League, and as a member of the County Commission on the Status of Women. Suzanne is running for re-election for two reasons.